Yo! It's good, y'all. It's Surprise Man. Today, let's back up. If you guys didn't know, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan. Watches WWE, watch AEW. Got back into wrestling like late 2018. That's when I just randomly got back into it. Nothing got me into it. I just randomly decided to get back into it. Got a better knowledge and understanding of the characters and storylines and all that good stuff. And man, Extreme Rules just happened. Obviously we know what I'm about to talk about, the big moment. But real quick, because I know I'm going to go probably 15 minutes on that by itself. That being said, first match was a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. It was the Brawling Brutes, which is Butch, Ridge Holland, and Sheamus versus Imperium. Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Vinci, and Gunther, Imperium. Brawling Brutes came out with the win. I thought the match was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I gave it about 8 to 9 out of 10. It was pretty good. It was what you thought it was gonna be, right? A brawl. Second match was Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. I'm somebody who believes in Liv Morgan. I was not somebody who was like, oh, she's boring. She can't wrestle. I wasn't doing all that. Everyone was doing that. I wasn't one of those people who gave up on her. But I was somebody who agreed when people were saying like her title run just went hitting. I definitely agree with that. They definitely could have like I feel like Liv should have harped on her promos so that she became more convincing and give her a big storyline. I don't with Rousey, I don't think, I mean, yeah, they did segments and things like that, but like I don't think they really made it like a big storyline. Consider we had already seen it twice. And the 2 times we seen it, it went nothing, special. So match was up and down. The Liv Morgan versus Ronda match, it was up and down, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It was up and down. It was times where I liked it because I liked like Liv, all right, bringing out her intensity by hitting them with the bat. I didn't like how she swung the chair. She swung the chair like she was scared. Like, it's like, I don't know if the women don't lay into each other as much or something, but yeah, it just seemed like when she was hitting the chair, instead of like hitting it with force, it seemed like she was throwing her weight on it to where it's like, okay, you could tell this does not look like you're trying to damage her like you should, consider how much you want to keep this title. But Liv Morgan, I always respected how, I mean, ever since she had those 2 matches with Becky Lynch earlier this year. Yeah, it was this year. Earlier this year, ever since I've seen those 2 matches, bro, they were great, and I believed in her. I think what they could have really done to fix that is they could have made her winning the title a moment. Like, she just won it after, like, the same night of Money in the Bank. It was cool to see, but it was just like, I feel like they could have made that more into a long, dragged-out moment where she finally gets it out of nowhere, gets the win out of nowhere. I feel like they could have dragged that moment and have her have that Money in the Bank briefcase to develop her character as a face and then eventually have her cash in. That's what I would have done. So that people, because I think the problem was they gave people instant gratification, and I think from there, that's when people started not believing in Liv as much. The problem that she was champ, but then they kind of fell off. Never fell off, but it was people falling off, not believing in her as much. And I can get it. I'll be honest. Yes, I get it. She's in an Extreme Rules match with Ronda Rousey. There's really no way she can win. I understand that. I do agree with that in terms of like believability. Yeah, I agree with that. But match was up and down for the most part. It was. It was. I would say it was bad. I wouldn't say it was terrible, but I'd say it was bad. I tried to give it decent, but I couldn't, bro. Because I like Liv, so I'm kind of iffy with Rousey. I was always somebody who advocated for her as a heel, but even what she's better at. But yeah, Rousey I couldn't get behind. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan, but respect. But yeah, it was an iffy match. Ended weird. Like the ending was weird. Like Liv was laughing and while she was choked out or whatever, it was weird. But then I saw a YouTube clip of her just being like, had an angry face. She was sitting in a corner. So I feel like maybe there's a character change coming. I hope it's for the better. Because, Triple H, hopefully he has something planned after this loss and that Liv doesn't just go into irrelevancy. So Ronda's the new champ. I don't know where that's going to go. She's a heel now, so maybe that'll do something. But I'm thinking, and I'm like, I don't really know what big face would feud against her that would really help Ronda Rousey out, because she's still struggling in wrestling. I mean, she's admitted this, so this isn't shade. She struggles in wrestling, like in terms of like just actually wrestling. She struggles in that. What's next up? Third match. I will spend a little time on that. Third match was, I think that was the scrap match, right? Yeah, the scrap match, Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. It was pretty good, but like, I feel like, and they brought the intensity. That was great. I mean, those times, I mean, the sound of that scrap, I literally reacted every time. I was like reacting every single time they hit each other with a scrap because it was that loud. So intensity was definitely there, but I feel like maybe the pacing was off. I feel like I was liking the match, but I was missing for some reason. It's like the thing where you like the match, but then the excitement isn't there. It's weird. Like the excitement is missing. Like you like the match, but you're missing the part where you're supposed to get excited, right, about the match and go, oh, like wow, this is going really well. Like you were missing that. And so yeah, maybe it was the pacing. Maybe they were going a little, and I like when they start off slow and go slow. Let them tell the story. Let people get a knowing and understanding of who these people are, especially for the people who don't really watch wrestling like that. Let them get an understanding of the character and let them tell the story. So that's why you have to be slow. You don't have to do flips and dives and go at 180 miles per hour to give us a good match. And that's not what captivates people. That's not how you get a grasp of a character. Because guess what? They're going to do the flip. You go, wow. And then you're going to go, all right, back on Twitter. Then you wait for them to do the next spot. Hey, next spot coming up. Oh, wow. And then what? You're back on Twitter. So it's about in-ring psychology, bro. Storytelling in these matches. But overall, the match wasn't bad. I just felt like it was maybe the pacing of it was a little too slow because I felt like it was missing like the excitement. So I'm actually really curious to see how well they were doing like a normal match because Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre is money to me. So I think maybe if they have a normal match, we can really see how well they can work together. So next match up was Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Another one that was pretty good, but I'm not gonna act like this was something I was like, oh wow, like that was a banger of a ladder match, one of the best I've ever seen. But they did well with the time they were given and what they did. But I don't know. These matches had pretty good length, but for some reason, these matches had pretty good length, but I still felt like the ending came too fast. That's the weird thing. But yeah, it ended with Bianca being able to fend off the damage control. She took out Io and Dakota. A little bit botched, but ultimately it worked with a KOD with both of them on her shoulders. We know she's strong. So she was able to pull that off. Not as well as she would have liked because Io couldn't really get in a good position when she was trying to get her into the finisher on the top rope. She couldn't get Io in a good position, but she still hit it. So like I said, a little bit of a botch. Not too much. I wouldn't say a botch. I would say a little bit of a botch. She still hit it. So, and then Bayley, that finish was pretty cool, but I think Bayley should have just landed on a ladder. I don't think she should have hold, because it doesn't look believable. Because she had to, I see them games. She had to like hold the ladder, and then when she went down, it's like Bayley's holding the ladder. So it's like she's trying to get hit with the ladder. So you could have made that more believable by just planting her on the ladder, maybe. But I hope Bayley's okay. She was kind of holding her mouth at the end. But other than that, thought the match was pretty good. Glad that Bianca retained. I just hope that this doesn't, hurt Bayley's character and that she can. I mean, granted, she didn't get pinned, so maybe this could. Hope they really start rejuvenating damage control because they've been fumbling the bag with that. The best they've ever done with damage control is the segment leading up to Extreme Rules where they was all dominant, holding their titles up on the ladder. That was like the best I've seen. Destroyed Alexa, Asuka, and Bianca. That was like the best I ever seen them. Like that was the most dominant I've seen them. So hope they really can. Hope they really concentrate and really help that faction grow and make them be as serious as we should take them. Next match, oh man, Edge versus Finn Balor. And I knew these guys were going to have a great match. These guys are professionals. I literally said because the first 4 matches, I was like, it was just up and down. Like first one was great, second one was third one was but like there's something missing. And the other one was like pretty good, but it wasn't like I was just going nuts. Like, whoa, like I would watch that again. Like, so yeah, it was up and down, good stuff. But it was, I will say the good outweighed the bad, but there was still that bad in it. So there was that, right? Last 2 matches, well, at least the match of the night was Edge versus Finn Balor. Match of the night easily. I love the pacing. It was slow, because that's a bad thing. It was slow, and I loved that. I enjoyed the match thoroughly. And I like this. This is what is supposed to happen in a match, whether it's a normal match or a stipulation. The stakes got higher the longer the match went on. It didn't go up, down, or, oh, this is good. All right, now we're fading down. Okay, now we're trickling down. No, like the whole time, it was, okay, slow, build up, build up, build up, build up, build up, build up, build up. Every single part of the match, it was building up. And they build up to the end. Judgment Day got some shots in. Ray helped, took out Ray. And I like, this is the most we've ever cared about Dominic Mysterio, man. And it's great to see. Because with him just pairing up with Rey Mysterio, it was cool at first, but then it's like, but where is he going to go with this? Ray's not going to wrestle for that much longer, even though it looks like he is, the way he wrestles. He looks like he's going to wrestle for 10 more years. But, you know, we got to see what we're going to do with his son by himself. Like, what is his son's character? It can't just be, you got to be more, like, especially if you're going to have a wrestling career ahead of you, you got to be more than just Ray's son, because that's what we all know. That's not a character. That's just a fact. So, yeah, I just hope he gets in the gym, gets those gains, you know what I mean? Get some gains in that gym, you know, because I'm staying in the gym. Hope he gets those gains and makes himself look more dominant, you know, but ultimately, promo work, I think he's been doing well. Like the pairing with Judgment Day. He got a low blow from Edge. That was cool to see. Rhea Ripley finally got, as some people wanted to see Rhea Ripley finally get beat. She got beat by Beth Phoenix. I hope to see Melmano. I don't know if Rhea's still recovering to the point where she can have a match, but if she's good, please make Rhea Ripley versus Beth Phoenix. That would be a great match, given the top 20 plus minutes. I think that'd be a great women's match, because Beth Phoenix can still go in the ring, bro. If she wanted to, she could be a full-time wrestler. But, great ending. Man, that made you hate Judgment Day so much. Before the obvious biggest moment of the night, the biggest moment of the night, other than what I'm about to talk about, obviously, was the fact that, and I knew this was I didn't know she was gonna get concertoed, but I knew the match was gonna end with Edge saying I quit, because they were gonna like hurt Beth, because I knew it was like, you kind of knew. If you're a real wrestling fan, you already kind of knew. Like, if you had that intelligence, you already kind of knew. But then there's another thing where it's like, they almost kind of foreshadowed it, because Edge was like, no member of the Judgment Day physically is gonna make me quit. Emphasis on physically make me quit. Like, no amount of punch y'all can do to me is gonna make me quit. But what about if we do? And you see this all the time in movies and TV shows. I mean, you don't care what the pain we dish out to you, but what if we do this to your close one, right? Maybe your brother, your sister, in this case, his wife. Yeah, you're definitely gonna give up for that. You're gonna say I quit to that, and he ultimately did. They were about to hit, Rhea was about to hit her with a steel chair in the head. Boom. He says, and I knew when he was gonna say I quit too. I was like, when I was watching, I said he's gonna say I quit when she raises the chair up, like I'm about to hit her. I knew that's when he was going to say it, and that's when he said it. All right, we're all good. All right, you had to say I quit. You did your deed. Rhea said, like, I forgot what she said before she hit Beth, but, you know, I forgot what she said. I wish I knew what she said so I could do a direct quote. Basically, she was telling Edge, like, he had it coming or whatever. That's not what she said, but I forgot what she said, but told Edge, like, you know, basically, you know, he had it coming. Boom. I mean, it was a good one, too. Concerto. Boom. I saw the middle, like the seat part where you sit down in the chair. I saw that. The reason why I was froze for so long and like this is because, bro, I saw the chair hit her head, bro. Because sometimes you can kind of tell it didn't hit her that or hit him that good. Because what they're really doing is just hitting the chair and making you hit the top part of the chair, hitting the other top part of the chair. That's really all that's happening. That's how they make it look like they hit her in the head. But no, I saw the seat part of the chair bounce off her dome piece, the back of her head, the equilibrium. And I was like, I froze for a good minute, bro. Because I was like, I saw it hit her head. So that being said, oh man, I've never seen, and they needed this. I think this truly, and I was somebody who was like, yeah, losing hope in Judgment Day when Edge left because they didn't capitalize on it. But I think this solidified Judgment Day in their heel role. You hate them now more than ever. That was about the, I mean, this was reminiscent of when Orton kissed Stephanie as Triple H was chained to the rope Like, that was a different level heel. Kissed his own wife right in front of him as she was laid out with an RKO. So that being said, gave me reminiscence of that. So yeah, bro. Great. That was, I mean, like, when I was watching the next match, which was Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle in a fight pit, that match was pretty decent, but I couldn't, like, the whole match, until obviously what happened at the end. The whole match, I couldn't get that out of my head. The fact that Judgment Day took out Beth Phoenix, or Rhea Ripley did, took out Beth Phoenix with the brass knucks in the chair. Man, great storytelling. I mean, even for the fans who understand the business, like, you don't actually hate them, but in real life, but man, especially for the kids, yo, you're hating Judgment Day hard. I mean, I'm one of them. I'm admiring the work, but from a fan perspective, of course, I hate them, right, as a fan. But in terms of just somebody who's watching wrestling and understands what it's about, I admire the work. And I even said at the end, that was one of the best segments of endings to a match that I've ever seen. I mean, that really put the nail in the coffin in terms of, like, that heel status that Judgment Day and their power and dominance, that is at an all-time high. That is locked in. No one's gonna deny. Like, they're the top heels on Raw, bro. They're the top heels on Raw. They finally are what they were supposed to be. Guys that run the show and ultimately have dominance. They finally have that. But moving on, that was great. I knew Edge and Finn Balor. These are great professional wrestlers. They are great at what they do. I knew they were going to deliver. It could have been that was a dream match to me. Finn versus Edge, knowing how great they work and who they are, I was like, dream match to me. And you don't throw that word around loosely. You got to be careful when we throw that word around, because, I mean, these are big matches. But that one, I felt qualified. But anyway, moving on to the next match. The last match was Seth Rollins versus not Finn Balor. Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle in a fight pit. Out of the two fight pits Riddle's been in, which it makes sense to have Riddle in, you can only do a fight pit usually when someone's a former MMA fighter. That's the only time you really should do a fight pit, because they kind of know how the match can go, how, what strikes to hit to make it look more legitimate. And Riddle did so in the one he had with Timothy Thatcher in NXT. That was the other fight pit match he had, and he lost that match. But he busted Timothy up in the mouth. But, he obviously ended up tapping out or making Riddle pass out. I think he passed out Riddle. But, yeah, anyway. This was his, and it wasn't in front, this was during the pandemic era, too. That match he had with Timothy Thatcher was better than the one he had with Seth Rollins. The one he had with Seth Rollins, it was pretty cool. The one great spot was when, and it didn't even look like to me he was going to hit it. I thought he was going to hit floating bro, but he hit a senton or broton. He jumped off the top of the thing, the little rampway up top. He jumped off of it and it looked like the way he landed on Rollins, it looked like he would, like, that Rollins should have gone through the ring. It was that brutal. It looked like it hit him. So, I mean, I can understand why when Seth kind of just rolled off the top thing and landed onto the mat, I can see why he fell like that so softly and safely. Because, bro, when Riddle jumped off that thing and landed on Rollins, it sounded so brutal. And it sounded like I wouldn't have been surprised if the ring broke right there. It was that, like, hard hitting. I'm like, goodness, bro. That definitely hurt Rollins' ribs. But ultimately, the match ended kind of anticlimactically. I think we should have saw blood in this match, because it's a fight pit and you're kind of giving that MMA style. So I think there should have been blood in this match. Not a whole, I don't gotta be drooped in it, but some blood in this match. Which I don't think there should be a lot of in, like, most of the time. I don't think matches should only have blood when the feud is truly at that peak. Which I think this feud has reached its peak to me. Like, they've done the best promos they could have done, and yeah, I don't think it could get any higher. Match was anticlimactic to me because it kind of just ended out of nowhere. Like, he locked in a submission, the triangle choke. Rollins is trying to get him off, but ultimately Riddle puts him to sleep because he holds on to him. Even after he slammed on the mat, bounced him up against the cage, Riddle just held on. Rollins tapped out. Shout out Daniel Cormier, by the way, as a special guest referee. I keep up with some UFC as well. Not like not everything, but I know a decent amount. Usually keep up with the bigger events. But yeah, decent match. Wasn't like I said, it wasn't the again that thing that they did with Beth Phoenix was in my head the whole time that match was going on. But yeah, pretty decent match. I think for Rollins and Riddle, that wasn't their best, and they had a great match at Clash of the Castle. But in terms of fight pit, feel like the match should have been longer. And two things: match should have been longer, or three, match should have been longer, more blood, and really get creative, like really make us get creative with the finish. Like how I would have finished it was, I would have made Rollins towards the end seem so dominant. You think he's gonna take out, like I get like how they ended it with the triangle choke. I don't mind that. But I think what they should have done is really make you think Rollins is gonna win this match. Like, oh, okay, yeah, he's beating Riddle. Like Riddle's out, bloody mess, he's out, he's done. He's about to hit the stop, and then boom, he catches him into the triangle choke, and then you have it be the same ending, right? He bounced up against the cage, put him on the mat, whatever, and then ultimately he taps. That's what I would have done. And this is obviously after the match had built up, had some time, all that stuff. But yeah, that's how I would have ended it. I would have made you think Rollins was gonna win, then you could do Riddle submitting him. Everyone's out of the ring. Rollins is sitting there in defeat. Riddle is up there with Daniel Cormier holding his hand up like because he won. And now the thing that you can tell a little bit that my voice is not as there because I marked the crap out for my guy, one of the most captivating individuals that has ever graced the wrestling planet since Undertaker, in terms of at least the supernatural aspect of things. But dude captivates you in wrestling like no other. No creativity like no other. Ultimately, my boy, my guy, my number one in the company right now, because I like my favorites were Cody, MJF, Roman. Like in terms of, those were really the guys I liked in terms of whose work I'm enjoying. It's them. Bray Wyatt has taken their spot rather easily. I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be my longest video I've ever recorded. He taking the spot. Bray Wyatt came back. He returned. I marked out. Voice is still, my voice is not completely lost, but I was actually yelling a decent amount for the what happened to Beth. But I absolutely lost my crap over the Bray Wyatt coming back. Every little thing. And I knew he was back, obviously, because they were singing, he's got the whole world in his hands. Like, towards the end of the QR codes, you knew it was Wyatt because they were saying the let me in, you know that's Bray. So he starts singing the whole world in his hands. Lights go out, I'm already excited. I was actually confused at first because you know how there's the little label that they have at the bottom of the screen. It's like, oh, the show's about to be. I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck? For that split second, I was like, wait a minute, they're obviously gonna show the rabbit, right? Why are they putting the thing like we're about to go off air? Boom, lights went out. I was like, okay, thank goodness. And then of course Michael Cole. Michael actually had pretty good commentary in that Finn Balor match as well. Forgot to mention that. Great commentary. He was like really seeing like somebody needs to beat up Dominic or somebody get some help out here. I mean, he was bringing out his inner JR, bro. Anyway, you saw they really built up to it. They had you show characters from the Firefly Funhouse. 6 different Wyatt 6. They showed the Fiend. I mean, I think that was where the 6 individuals. Maybe that's what Wyatt 6 came from. Showed 6 individuals. It showed the Fiend, the Rabbit, the Witch. I'm not sure of all the character names. Rambling Rabbit, you know, all of them. The Pig, you know, all of them. You know what I'm talking about if you guys know. Buzzard, you know, you know all of them if you know the. I'm not gonna try to explain everything. Boom! Finally. He has a cool mask, of course. You know, Bray works with some creative. I mean, he's creative, but he also works with creative people. And you got to believe that he's going to have people who are really in tune with, like, the supernatural stuff. You got to believe he's going to be working with those type of writers as he continues his journey returning to WWE. Bray Wyatt ultimately comes back, reveals the mask. That's when I probably got the loudest because you know it's him already, but it's just when you see him, you got that extra oomph of volume. So boom, saw him, marked out even more when I actually saw him because I was marking out already, but I knew I had to actually see him. He said he's back, or I think he said, I don't know if he said I'm back or I'm here. I think it was I'm here, and then blew out the lantern. It was a little bit of a botch because when he blew out the lantern, they actually turned out the light too fast because he's usually like, okay, blows the lantern out and the lights go off right when he blows off. The lights actually went out a second before he blew the lantern Like, he didn't get to blow out the lantern. The lights had went out before he actually blew it. That was like a little bit botched, but no one really noticed it. I'm probably the only one who noticed that. Anyway, it was great. All I could think about, all I could talk about. I'm glad that he didn't attack nobody. We just saw Bray. The crowd was great there in Philadelphia. That's a wrestling crowd. So glad. I actually marked out so loud that I had to watch back and hear the crowd reaction because I was reacting so loudly. I thought about recording it when the lights went out. I don't know why I didn't. I just forgot. I just didn't end up doing it. I would show you the clip of my reaction, but I didn't click record, or I didn't set my phone up and record myself. I don't know why I didn't do that. I thought about doing it. I don't know why I didn't. But dang, that would have been cool to see my reaction and then to put it in this video. But best believe I marked out, saw my guy. He's finally back. I don't want to know anything. I'm glad that he didn't attack anybody and we just saw him. I think that's all you needed to give us. That being said, two things I want to say. One, great to have Bray Wyatt back. I don't want to even think about what feud he's going to be in. I just want to see him. I just want to see what he does. I don't care what character it is because I know he's going to nail it and crush it. I don't care what character he has, who he's feuding with, because I know it's going to be gold, and especially under Triple H. I hope it goes well. And hope that Vince lets Triple H continue running it. Because, bro, Vince still owns the company. He's letting Triple H do all this. He's letting him do more than I thought, by the way. But best believe Vince is in tune with the company. For everyone who thinks he's just gone, he's in tune with the company. And Triple H and Stephanie have admitted he's still in tune with the company. But he's letting Triple H do his thing, and I'm glad that... I hope we continue this. I hope we continue Triple H doing his thing. Not one of his best pay-per-views. SummerSlam was pretty good. Clash of the Castle in Cardiff, Wales was a masterpiece. This was one of the ups and downs when it came to Triple H's booking. But ultimately, Extreme Rules with Bray Wyatt coming back, I gave it an automatic 8 out. As I already said, I said earlier in the day that if Bray Wyatt came back, it was automatically getting a 5 out of 10. Half of your points were already going to be there for Bray coming back. So it was really up to the rest of the card to build up that rating, and it got to an 8. So that being said, he's back. I don't want to think of what feud he's in. I just want to be surprised by everything, not know anything. So I don't know if he's going to show up on Monday Night Raw. I feel like they're probably going to sign him to SmackDown. But yeah, for all the people who try to make fun of people saying that Bray was coming back, even like, because I was one of those people, part of the community, we were saying Bray was coming back even before it was like rumored that big. We already said he was going to come back. The codes just build us up even more. So all the people who said that don't expect him to come back, suck it. We people like me believed the whole way through, and we got it. Marked out, loudest I've ever marked out in forever. Last time I marked out like I marked out was maybe Cody, and even then I don't think I marked out as loud as I did for Bray Wyatt. This is the guy we wanted back, and this is the guy we got. Thank you, Triple H. Thank you, Bray Wyatt. And I knew he was gonna come back to WWE. He said he wasn't done with wrestling, so I knew he was coming back. It was just a matter of when. And I'm glad he waited all this out, because if he would have went to AEW or came back to WWE too early, he wouldn't have seen all this Vince retires and all this stuff. He didn't want to see all that news play out if he came back so fast. So glad Bray Wyatt, he's a smart individual. Glad he waited it out and saw all this play out, and now he's back in a creative way with the QR codes and the White Rabbit stuff. Glad that we got Bray Wyatt. He was revealed at the end of Extreme Rules, and like Triple H knows that pay-per-view should be, and that is that they should be memorable. This is definitely memorable in a sense. I'm gonna keep rewatching Bray Wyatt come back. I mean, I've already done it a few times before I recorded this, but love and appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Running up to 40 subscribers, and yeah. I'm speechless, bro. I'm glad to see him back. Man, I just hope they do him right, and I hope his creativity is just unlimited now with Triple H, for the most part, controlling things. I hope it's unlimited. I mean, Bray reportedly he had a high asking price, so yeah, I knew he was gonna go back. WWE was really the only option. Because AEW, with Malachi Black, they proved to you that when it comes to those supernatural characters, they don't know how to book them. They don't know how to book those type of characters. I don't even know this video is going to get uploaded, because the longer this video goes, the harder it is to upload. But anyway, I had to get all this out. Love and appreciate you guys. Prodigy. And I'm out. Peace.